All right, it's time to talk about some draft night automatic studs. These are players, any player really, that will be good simply based off of where they get drafted to, just based off of situation. All right, but before we get into that, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can see more videos just like this one to help you win the fantasy football championship in your league. All right, Kyle, tell us that first draft night stud based off of situation alone.
Well, the first spot I'm watching for is who does Dallas draft at running back? Because right now all they have is Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and they just signed Royce Freeman, who's just practice depth. Like
Yeah.
whoever lands, whoever they draft, and they will draft somebody.
Yeah.
Whoever they draft is going to be the starter on this team. Whether it's Jonathan Brooks or Trey Benson, I don't know who it's going to be. Running backs, and the reason I know that they'll draft somebody is because no running backs are going to go in probably the first 2 rounds for sure, maybe even late into that third or early fourth. It's not a highly touted running back class. However, there is still some talent there. These guys are still NFL prospects, and just based on volume and situation alone, whoever they end up with is going to put up some big numbers.
I agree, and I think the feeling is that Dallas is going to really focus on that offensive line early in the draft, I think is the feeling I'm getting there. And so you put a decent running back behind a boosted offensive line there in Dallas, I'm feeling good about it. Because that Dallas offensive attack is so well balanced between the run and the pass. You know, when you've got a passing offense like that, it takes a lot of pressure off that run. And so it's a pretty decent position to be the running back for the Dallas Cowboys. And your competition is little to none.
Exactly.
Little being Deuce Vaughn. Anyways, all right. Who's the second position you're looking at?
All right, the next one I'll take a look at is whoever lands in the Chargers at wide receiver. They have no wide receivers right now besides Quentin Johnston. He couldn't seize it last year when Williams and Keenan were both hurt. He's not that guy. They're going to draft someone early, I believe, probably at number 5, whether it's a Dunze or Neighbors or somebody who's going to be their number 1 guy. And whoever that is going to be insta-stud.
I agree. I don't see them getting rid of Allen and letting Williams go and stuff in the offseason if they didn't plan to replace them with someone good really early in the draft. To me, that just kind of gives away, shows their cards on what they're planning here, right? So I think they're going to go get a young stud wide receiver at that number 5 position, and they are stepping into a wide receiver desert. There is not competition there. You mentioned Quentin Johnston, not the guy. Palmer, meh, just kind of fine, right? Like these are guys that couldn't capitalize last year when Allen and Williams were both out, right? So, yeah, they're going to get a young stud. Whoever it is, I want him.
But you mentioned Palmer. Like, even he has looked better than Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
When injuries plagued the other two in the past. And he's nothing special at receiver. So imagine one of these young studs in there in that spot. He's going to be good. And bonus pick, they'll probably take a second receiver a little bit later in the draft that you're probably going to want to get a hold of too.
Probably so.
The possible flex guy. So
yeah, you're probably right. Because it's going to be their 1 or 2 option. Yeah. So that is a wide receiver desert for sure. All right. What is the third one you're looking at?
The third one I'm looking at is wide receiver for the Bills. They kind of shocked the world when they traded Stefon Diggs down to Houston. And so now they're sitting there with Khalil Shakir atop their wide receiver depth chart. And don't get me wrong, he's a talented guy and he could, contribute, but he's not a number 1 receiver. I think they're going to go into this draft looking for that number 1 guy, probably pretty early. And whoever they end up taking, you're going to want to get your hands on that guy.
I agree. They also have Curtis Samuel that they brought in the offseason. But first of all, Curtis Samuel doesn't stay healthy. It's not his forte. Right.
He's the number 1 guy anyways.
But I think Curtis Samuel will bring them some good value in real life, but not on your fantasy team. Right. So, yeah, they're looking for someone else to come in and be that guy. And if the Bills can find that right guy,
Yep.
well, I mean, whoever gets drafted there is going to be good there, right? Like they're going to step in and be able to fill a position that needs to be filled now. It is just a wide open place that needs filled.
Well, because the wide receiver class this year is really deep. So if they wait until the end of the first round where they're at, they're still going to get somebody really, really good, like Xavier Worthy or somebody like that, for example. But keep your eyes open. They might decide to trade up and grab one of these other higher ranked guys earlier in the draft. So keep your eyes peeled, man. Draft night's going to be fun.
They might just have a plan.